Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President.
Considering the posture of both President Zelensky and Trump in a heated argument a couple of months ago, no one thought a day like this would emerge. But here we are today, witnessing a supposed happy deal at the expense of a bereaved country. The world can never be fair. After months of tense negotiations, the United States has signed a deal with Kyiv to share profits from the future sale of Ukraine's mineral and energy reserves. The deal seeks to offer an economic incentive for the US to persist in investing in Ukraine's defense and reconstruction. Additionally, it aims to address Washington's concerns regarding the amount of aid it has already provided. Ukraine is believed to have vast reserves of critical minerals like graphite, titanium, and lithium. These minerals are highly sought after because of their use in renewable energy, military technology, and infrastructure. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent posited that both countries were committed to lasting peace and prosperity in Ukraine. The deal will also establish an investment fund to restore Ukraine's economy after the war. As stated in the US Treasury statement on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, the newly created US-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund acknowledges the substantial financial and material support the US has provided to Ukraine since Russia's invasion in February 2022. The US Treasury Secretary expressed in a video statement that this deal aims to, unlock Ukraine's growth potential. The language of the announcement shows much more solidarity with Ukraine than is usual for the Trump administration. It refers to Russia's full-scale invasion and adds that no state or person who financed or supplied the Russian war machine will be allowed to benefit from the reconstruction of Ukraine. An official response from the Kremlin hasn't been released yet. Resources of a rapidly declining nation. However, for Kyiv, this access to US military aid is considered indispensable for its national security. Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko, who flew to Washington to ink the deal on Wednesday, said in a post on X that the new fund would attract global investment into our country. Listing the deal's provisions, she said it would involve projects in minerals, oil and gas. Since the resources remain the property of Ukraine, it is the Ukrainian state that determines what and where to extract, and that subsoil remains under Ukrainian ownership, she re-emphasized. The partnership will be equally balanced with a 50-50 ratio, she clarified. Furthermore, it must be ratified by lawmakers in Kyiv. Under the deal, the US would contribute new assistance to Kyiv, which includes air defense systems. Prior to the historic deal, President Donald Trump has repeatedly pushed for the agreement as a prerequisite to offering any future security guarantees to Kyiv. Crucially, the draft of the deal indicates Ukraine will be giving Washington access to some of its natural resources in return for future US security assistance. But that is significantly less than what Trump had wanted, which was to get paid back for all US military aid given since the start of the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has managed to eke out some concessions from Washington. The deal was delayed after US authorities said Kyiv was trying to make last-minute changes. On Wednesday, 30th April 2025, a US source familiar with the talks criticized Ukraine for seeking to reopen some terms that had apparently been finalized over the weekend. The source said sticking points had included governance of the fund, issues with transparency, and steps to ensure that all funds would be fully traceable. Technical documents were signed last week by representatives of both countries. The initial agreement was due to be signed in February, but fell apart following a heated exchange at the White House when Trump accused Zelensky of gambling with World War III.
You're gambling with World War III.
The breakthrough comes days after Trump and Zelensky held a face-to-face meeting on the sidelines of Pope Francis's funeral, and as talks between Moscow and Washington over a possible ceasefire in Ukraine grind on. Phoning into the News Nation network on Wednesday evening, Trump said he had pressed Zelensky at Vatican City to seal the deal.
Once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position.
I was telling him that it's a very good thing if we can produce a deal that you sign it, he said, because Russia is much bigger and much stronger. Russia is just chugging forward. The US president said the deal would recuperate the multi-billion-dollar US assistance to Ukraine since the war began, and much more in theory. So I went to them and said, look, we got to get rare earth. They have great rare earth, meaning certain minerals, materials, said Trump. They have things that a lot of places don't have. It's a big asset that they have. The question one may ask, what sort of minerals are beneath the topsoil of Ukraine? Ukraine has 7% of Europe's supplies of titanium, a lightweight metal used in the construction of everything from aeroplanes to power stations. It is also home to a third of all European lithium deposits, the key component in current batteries. Other elements found in Ukraine include beryllium and uranium, which are both crucial for nuclear weapons and reactors. Deposits of copper, lead, zinc, silver, nickel, cobalt, and manganese are also significant. Further, Ukraine has significant deposits of rare earth metals. These are a group of 17 elements that are used to produce weapons, wind turbines, electronics, and other products vital in the modern world. Could this deal be the usual superpower bully or a win-win for both countries? Well, whereas the answers may differ, the world watches what unfolds.